Well, I'm officially traumatized. Hey guys, it's the Pink King here. Godzilla. You know him, I know him, we all know him. After all, how could you not, considering he's been a symbol for the atomic bomb, savior of Earth, a superhero, and a force of nature? Godzilla's practically been there and done that. Well, except for one aspect. Pure horror. I know Godzilla himself has had horror elements in the past, especially with Gojira, like goddamn that was horrific. But I'm talking about pure horror, as in something that's supposed to be scary from the beginning to the end. Godzilla has never really stepped into the world of horror, and honestly, I don't blame them for avoiding it. After all, Godzilla as a concept has no way of actually working in a horror setting. That's what I would say if I didn't see the man in the suit. Yeah, the man in the suit. If you're a die-hard fan of Godzilla like me, then you definitely have heard of this little gem by the channel Unknowingly. Unknowingly has been uploading a lot of these analog horror shorts on his YouTube channel, which, by the way, the link for that is in the description in case you want to go watch it. And you definitely should, at your own risks. But yeah, Unknowingly has made these really well made shorts that have gotten a lot of attention, and seeing as it's the season to be spooky, I want to talk about that, and specifically why the man in the suit is actually genius. But before we begin, consider subscribing. My goal is to reach 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we are literally so close to achieving that. We are only a few subscribers off that milestone, and with your help, we can definitely reach that. Not only would this be helping me make more videos just like this for you guys, but you'll be helping me reach my long-time dreams of being a good YouTuber. So if you want more content just like this in the future, then be sure to subscribe. And with that, let's get back to the video. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, The Man in the Suit is a series that uses the making of the original Gojira movie and twists it on its head to add a horrific twist to it. It's a series of old photos presented by a narrator about how an actor who used to play Godzilla became way too attached to the Goji suit, staying inside it for long periods of time before eventually morphing into the suit itself. His organs, his flesh becoming one with the suit, with the man starting to believe he really is Godzilla, as he would take the suit everywhere with him, and any other actors who played other monsters are inferior to him. And so before long, he starts to become aggressive to other actors, specifically American actors, with him almost drowning someone dressed as Kong, because Kong is an American monster. And the man in the suit is someone who supports Japan during the Second World War. Eventually, he is contained by Toho, and he occasionally gets released, especially after the war, where he sees what Japan has become. That's the very bare bones of what this series is about, in a nutshell, essentially. And honestly, it's pretty great. It's such a simple idea at first that leads into a web of fascinating interpretations that not only are absolutely amazing, but pretty horrific. And here is exactly where Unknowingly strikes big and proves his genius. How, you ask? Well, it's from how he's able to use real history and what we already know about Godzilla to craft the perfect Godzilla horror series. Take the man in the suit himself. Goji is a man who's fiercely loyal to Japan and who blames America for not only his pain but the pain of Japan during World War II. However, the irony behind this is that in the series, most of the people who are affected by Goji's rampage are also Japanese people. The manipulation he uses and the anger he feels perfectly reflect what life was for people fiercely loyal to Japan back in those days. It's not saying they were good, necessarily, but more of showing the harsh truth, essentially. And that is just genius. Being able to take all these elements from real life to sort of repurpose them as a motive behind a horror Goji is something that simply isn't practically just genius. Also, I love how Unknowingly presents his story, taking extra care to leave little clues in the descriptions of his videos or in the video themselves, being very careful what he does and how he does it. Not only engaging the casual viewer, but also rewarding the viewers who like to delve a little bit deeper into things. Alongside the format his videos are presented, the 50s photo method is so effective. It has that right amount of eeriness and creepiness, and yet it's not over the top, it leaves it to your imagination. Yeah, it might be a bit vague at times, but that's sort of the beauty behind analog horror series just like this, and that's the vagueness. They don't need to share everything at once. That makes it more impactful because you're having to rely on your own imagination to fill in these gaps, with the breadcrumbs in this series leading to some truly horrific imagery in your own imagination. Whenever I watch this series, I often think about John Carpenter's The Thing. That sort of imagery and the idea of a fleshy monstrosity becoming one with an old kaiju suit is something of nightmares pretty much, and it's just pure brilliance, man. But overall, this series is really great. It's such a clever interpretation on the characters that I feel is definitely worth checking out. This video is a little shorter than my usual ones, but that's because I want you guys to go in as blind as possible. Trust me, you won't be disappointed with what you find. If you're a fan of horror, you're going to absolutely like this. Although, if you're someone who prefers the more usual take on Godzilla, I'd be a bit hesitant to watch this, as it deviates a fair bit from what the original Godzilla we all know and love usually is. So, if you're not used to something like this, then definitely take some caution when going in. But overall, I think this series has been fantastic. I've enjoyed all the mystery and all the lead up, all the little clues that's been left. I think this series is genius. It's been the Pink King here. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and with that, I will see you all next time.